I know Alice is going to steal a lot of fools from some of you because I was streaming the 2.1 story quest, and I noticed some of you saying that after finishing the 2.1 story quest, you now want to pull Alice. And look, I can completely understand, because I was already planning to pull Alice anyway, but after finishing the story, yeah, I definitely need her. But anyway, that's not a video to talk about the story and the fact that it was better than 2.0. This is a video to talk about Alice herself, because during the 2.1 story quest, we get access to a trial version of Alice, and we can play with her a little bit and we can see everything regarding Alice Kit during this trial mode. All of her skill description, all of the Mindscapes as well. So if you're looking to pull Alice or you just want to understand what she's going to do, in this video I'm doing a complete breakdown of everything that they showcased to us in this trial mode. So this is going to be an early analysis of Alice, no calculations here. I'm saving the calculations for my complete Alice guide, which should be releasing in the future. I don't know when it's going to release, but it's going to happen, I promise you. So remember to subscribe if you want to check my Alice guide as soon as it releases. And just a quick spoiler for you, Alice is the most skippable unit in all of 2.1. She's not user levels, she's not Miyabi levels, and honestly, just by looking at her kit and gameplay, not even Yanagi levels. Listen, we both know how important it is when it comes to saving money on these gacha games, and that's where LD Shop comes in. LDShop.gg is a top-up platform that offers massive discounts and good prices for a lot of different games, including Zenless on Zero. All you need is your server and the UID, and you're good to go. You just select what you want to buy, fill up everything here, you press top up, and then you're going to get a confirmation detail page. Make sure everything here is correct, because of course you want to get your polychromes and your internet membership, right? You just wait a little bit and your polychromes are going to be delivered to your account that fast. Look at this. And you know there's double top-up bonuses that you get on the first time you buy one of those monochrome packs. LD Shop got you covered because they can trigger the double top bonus for you. And the best part is that whenever you spend $80 in a single month, you get a coupon that allows you to get one of those monthly memberships for free, even in an internet membership, as you can see right here. Register your account using my link down in the description and you get a 15 and a 5% coupon that allows you to save up to $50. So stop wasting time and start saving money using LD Shop. Thanks LD Shop for sponsoring this video. So talking about gameplay, if you know Miyabi, Alice is pretty much Miyabi, but physical. And I'm not saying this because Alice is a unit that wants to deal critical damage, even though she's a normal unit. No, that's not the point. The point here is that Alice has access to an enhanced basic attack, which works really similar to Miyabi. You stack all your resources, and then once you have the maximum number of resources, you hold down your basic attack, and you use all of it to deal a level 3 enhanced basic attack. On Alice is the same thing. You want to use only level 3 enhanced basic attack. Going for level 1 or level 2 is not worth it. But the way Alice generates resources is completely different from Miyabi. Miyabi is looking for team synergies, and Alice is just want to stay on the field as much as you can in order to keep generating resources, because the way she generates resources is close to what we have on Jane, on Evelyn, and even Soldier Ambi, for example. You generate it by hitting the enemy over and over again. So by staying on the field, by triggering dodges and other stuff, this is going to give you resources. She has some interactions with Disorder and Assaults, of course, to generate resources for her, but most of it is going to come from staying on the field and doing dodges and hitting the enemy. She's an anomaly unit, however, her multipliers are quite huge, which makes crit or hybrid builds a possibility here, because numbers like this allows you to get some good value from crit stats. I'm not so sure, but honestly, I feel that a huge part of her damage is still going to be coming from assaults, especially because of her enhanced basic attack 3, which is exactly what makes Alice a unique unit. Her core skill triggers a new kind of assault whenever you use an enhanced basic attack 3 on the enemy. It's called Polarized Assault, and it's pretty much assault with another name. The damage is even the same. It's 100% of the original assault damage. So all of the build-up that you did on the enemy is going to stay there, and is going to trigger polarized assault on top of it. It can even trigger Disorder on top of assault. So even if you go for a monophysical team, you're still going to get access to Disorders on your team. And this is good because Alice has access to Disorder damage increase as long as the enemy is under a physical anomaly. Alice also has access to a damage over time that scales with the original physical anomaly damage. Now, this is the kind of thing that makes some of you think about a synergy between Alice and Jane, but honestly, I feel this is going to be a waste, and I don't see Jane increasing the damage from Alice that much. It just feels like you're increasing the damage of a single unit, which is exactly what Jane wants at the same time. I'm not so sure it's going to be a good idea, and I'm pretty sure that you can just use another anomaly unit from another attribute to keep triggering disorders. So for example, Vivian, Bernice are really good options instead of going for Jane. Now, one thing that I noticed on Alice kit is that she doesn't get a lot of buffs. You get some extra physical anomaly build up on her core whenever you trigger an assault on the enemy, and you can also get some anomaly proficiency from extra anomaly mastery. But that's all. One thing that I noticed is that since her EX special triggers the perfect dodge, you can use Jane's signature with Alice and get a good value from it. Because since Alice has no access to damage on her kit, this means that Jane's signature is going to provide good value for Alice. And the extra build-up just means more assaults, which means more damage overall, because assault is the kind of anomaly that you don't lose damage by triggering fast assaults. It's not like shock or burn or corruption, which are anomalies that deals damage over time. So if you don't disorder them, you kind of are wasting damage. But assault, it doesn't matter. You could just trigger assault on top of assault, then trigger a polarized assault, and there you go, you're going to get disorder even though you're just a physical unit. And I feel that on Mindscapes, they're just following the same level of power they are giving to all other DPS units, which is go for Mindscape 2 if you can, and only go further if you can go all the way to Mindscape 6. Mindscape 1 is going to offer some defense reduction on the enemy, which can be interesting because it's not going to work only on assaults. It applies a defense reduction debuff on the enemy, which means that, for example, if you're using Trigger with her signature engine, or you're using Nicole on your team, you can stack defense reduction effects, which are going to be really interesting. And Mindscape 2 is quite interesting, probably super strong, because it also makes your ultimate triggers polarized assault. Not to mention that depending on how much build up you have on the enemy, this could mean that you can go for assault, use your ultimate and trigger a second assault, then polarized assault, which is going to disorder the first assault. So you can imagine a lot of damage happening at the same time here. Not to mention that you're also going to get increased assault damage, you're also going to get increased disorder damage here. So there is a lot of value. I can see Alice triggering 5 assaults or even more in a single stun window, thanks to Mindscape 2. But I feel that this is a Mindscape that also makes most of your damage comes out from assault triggers instead of crit-based damage or something like this. Mindscape 4 is just physical resistance, which I always say that is super strong, but we're talking about getting 5 copies of Alice to get a 10% physical resistance. I don't think it's worth it, okay? And Mindscape 6, I'm not so sure how to feel about it. I don't know, it feels like it's a little bit of a Jane situation where you get some value, but it's not enough to justify it being on Mindscape 6. But anyway, I'm going to be working on calculations on Mindscapes and doing tests. So if you are a player that actually pulls from Mindscapes, don't worry, I'm going to have numbers for this in the future, just not right now. I'm still working to add Alice on my calculator, and it's going to be available for supporters probably 1 or 2 days after the release of this video. One thing that I really like on Alice, she kind of fixes the issues that I pointed out on Jane on one of my previous videos, which is like the fact that Jane has no good team synergies. She only looks to her own damage, and her own damage is nowhere near good enough, especially like on assault teams, because right now disorders are a really core part of any anomaly team. You kind of want to play around disorders. So I feel that because of this, Jane always feels left behind. Alice fixes this by giving extra disorder potential, by giving the potential to trigger disorder on top of assault itself. So there is some potential here. Honestly, there is potential with Alice and Jane, but not right now. I'm talking about in the future, Hoyo decided to make a rework on Jane and maybe even apply some of the gears available on Hollow Zero on Jane. This also means that monophysical team compositions using Alice, Jane, and Yuzuha, for example, would be a viable option. Not to mention that using two different ultimates with huge build-up numbers means that you could get, for example, a lot of assaults in a single stun window, which is exactly what I'm saying that is going to be the main source of damage on Alice. So you could, for example, use Alice ultimate, there you go, one assault with polarized assault, assuming you have Mindscape 2, and then you go into Jane, use the ultimate, there you go, another assault in a short span of time. So if in the future Hoyo decides to change Jane and makes her have some kind of synergies with other physical anomaly agents, I can see Alice and Jane being a good team. But as of now, on the release of Alice, Jane is not going to be a good option for Alice, and I feel it's going to be a complete waste. And regarding Alice herself, I feel that she's also not worth it as a pull. Pulling because you want a physical anomaly unit. We have Piper, we have Jane. I know that some of you have Jane. Alice is not worth pulling if you already own Jane, but she may be a good option if you only have Piper and you don't like playing Piper. So yeah, that's it. That's why I feel that Alice is the most skippable unit. And yes, I'm still pulling. Yes, I'm not changing my mind. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below if you're going to pull Alice or not, because as I said before, I am going to pull, but it's only Mindscape 0. It's mostly a waifu pull. I really don't have a good reason to pull Alice, but the gameplay at the very least is fun. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching this one. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in my next video.